This puzzle is called Pressure 6x6 by AnalyticalNinja. I got it from the Sudoku testing submission channel of the CTC community Discord. Let's take a look at the rules. So we have normal 6x6 rules, sure. Digits can't repeat in cages, okay. Cells within aquariums, oh sorry, all cages are aquariums. Cells within aquariums are either air cells or water cells, with cells outside the cages not being air or water. Water fills the bottoms of cages and must have digits greater than all the air cells in the cage. So water is greater than air. Okay. Rows in cages must be either all air or all water. Okay. Cages must have at least one air and at least one water. Sure. Okay, let's look at that much for now. Then we're getting on to another rule. So each one of these cages is an aquarium that has at least a little bit of air and at least a little bit of water. So let's look at this one actually, because it has a little bit of a wide part there. So this must be air because we need at least one bit of air and water sinks to the bottom. So we need some water, we need some air. Let's make it yellow. So then row by row we have to decide if how much is water and how much is air. So we could make this water and then both of them would have to be the same. And then we could make this water as well, or we could make this air. But what we couldn't do is do something like this and have them, alternate, because of course, water in an aquarium is at the bottom. I guess that's the best way to explain it. Water has to come up from the bottom. We could do half and half, sort of like that. But that's the basics of it. And the digits that are in the air parts, the yellow parts, have to be... One second, let me make sure I get this right. Yeah, so air cells are less than water cells. So if this was, let's just look at this again. This could be 2, 3, and then this would be 4, 5. This could be 4, 5, 6. Or this could be, 1, 2, and this could be... Actually, it doesn't matter. That works too. We just a lot of different examples. Okay. And digits can't repeat in a cage. That's also... So we couldn't have... if this was air as well, like if we had air like this, and this was water, we couldn't have these both be ones, for example. Okay, so now additionally, the cages are pressurized. The air cells within any cage must have an average... pressurized. The air cells within any cage must have an average value strictly greater than the number of rows above the cage in the grid. Okay, one second. Do I understand? For example, the air cells in a cage in row 4 and 5, so air cells in these rows must have an average value greater than 3. Let me reread that. I'm not sure I fully understand it. The air cells within any cage must have an average value strictly greater than the number of rows above the cage in the grid. So above the cage fully, so this one would... So let's look at this one again. We've just been looking at this one. So this has some amount of air in it. Let's just say this is air and this is water. The air cells within any cage must have an average value strictly greater than the number of rows above the cage in the grid. So these two cells have to have an average strictly greater than 2. I believe that's how I read it. Okay. Not sure how that will come into play, but that is... Okay. So I'll put a link to the puzzle down in the description if you want to give it a try. I don't really know how hard this is, but let's get going. There are a few things I see right away, like, let me go back. So there must be at least one row of water and at least one row of air in every cage. Cells within aquariums are either... No, that's not what I wanted. Oh yeah, here we go. Cages must have at least one row of air, one row of water. So this must be air, this must be water. This must be air. Must be water, must be air, must be water. If I change this to a lighter yellow, is that any better? Maybe a little bit better. We can change this to a lighter blue as well. Yeah, that's a little bit better. This one must be air, this one must be water. Air, water. Whoops, water. Okay, now this air has to have an average greater than 0, so that basically is free, as is all these cages that reach row 1 because there's 0 rows above it. This one, however, is a bit restricted. This must have, this must be 4 or greater. Yeah, this must be 4 or greater, right? Because there are 3 cells above it. I'm sorry, 3 rows above the cage. So this average needs to be strictly higher than 3. And since it's only one digit, that one digit has to be strictly higher than 3, so that must be 4, 5, or 6. But the blue cells have to be greater than the yellow cells. Let me just double check this. Water cells filled from the bottom of cages must have digits greater than all the air cells. Yeah. So this couldn't be a 5 or 6. Digits can't repeat. So this the only way we can get this to work is if this is 4 and then, whoops, and then a 5, 6 pair. So we have a little bit of progress. That's good. Let's see. This cell, actually, maybe can we do anything with this? This needs to have, this has 1 row above it, so this has to be at least a 2. So no, that we can't really do the same. This can't be a 4. And that can't be a 4, but we can basically do something like this. This couldn't be a 5. If this was a 5, this would have to be a 6, and then this cell would be broken. So it can't be that extreme, but it could be like 2, 3, just fine. Okay, this one has some number of yellow cells. So the biggest digit that you could have in here is a 4. Because we need 2 digits that are greater than that. So if we tried to put a 5 in here, we can't do 2 digits that are greater than a 5, so the puzzle would break. At most we could have a 4. So then the minimum we could have in here, because it needs 3 cells less in it, is also a 4. So if we try, well, forget this 4 for a second. If we put a 4, if we tried to put a 3 in here, we could do 1 and 2, but then this cell, there's no cell that's not a 1 or 2 that is also less than 3. So 3 doesn't work, so it could be 4, 5, or 6, but remember we have this 4 right here, so that can't be a 4. Those can't be a 4. And actually we have a 5, 6 pair here, so this is just a 3. Removes 3s from all of here. This can't be a 1 or 2 since we have the 1, 2 pair. And then we get a 4 there. And then this must be a 2 because it has to be less than 3. Okay. Well, I think we might be able to do something similar in this cage. So this needs 3 cells that are less than it, so it must be 4, 5, or 6. But actually it needs 3 cells that are less than it, but not a 2. So the minimum for this is 1, 3, 4, so this actually can't be a 4 either. So this is 1, 3, 4, 5. I guess 6 is in one of these 2 cells. That's important to note, probably. Actually, this can't be a 6. We have a 5, 6 pair here. So this can't be a 6. This is a 6. This can't be a 5. And actually, 5 must be in one of those cells because, again, this can't be a 5 because of the 5, 6 pair. And actually, we could say, where can we put 5 and 6 in this column? This can't be a 3 or a 4, actually, because of these, but yeah, how should I say this? Yeah, where can we put 5 and 6 in this column? It can't be here, so 5 and 6 must go in these 2 cells. Excuse me a second. My throat is getting all scratchy here all of a sudden. Yeah, so where can 5 and 6 go? We can't put it down here because we have a 5, 6 pair in the box, so this can't be a 5 or 6. This can be one of them, this can be the other one. So this must be a 5, this must be a 6. The other way to look at that is, what do we need in this column is a 1, 5, 6. This pair rules 5 and 6 out of this cell, so this is a 1, makes this a 5 and 6. And this is 1, 2, 3, or 4, can't be a 1. Okay. Well, where can we put a 6 in row 1? Must go there. Because 6 is never going to be less than any other cell. Similarly, where can we put a 1 in row 5? It can't go here because we're never going to have, it's never going to be greater than anything else. And it can't be over here because we've already ruled it out. So it must be in one of these two cells, which means that these must be yellow. Which means this is a 5 or a 6 because we need at least 4 cells less than it. Or we need 4 cells less than this number. So it's a 5 or a 6, and this is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is actually a 5-6 pair. This can't be a 6 for multiple reasons, but there's a 6 right there. That's the easiest reason. So this can't be a 5, this must be a 6. Then that makes that a 5 just by Sudoku. This is a 1, 2, 3. This can't be a 1 any longer because we have a 1 down here. Wait, how did I end up with a 6 there? Did I miss some? Oh, no, that's not messed up. Okay. I thought I messed something up, but a 6 in there means that this must be a water cell, which means this must be a water cell. Which means this can't be a 1. Makes that a 1. So 1 is over here. Yeah. I thought I broke the puzzle, but I don't think I did necessarily yet. And this cell is a 2, 3, or 4, but it can't be a 4. So this is just a 2 or 3. And this is a 2, 3, or 4. This one can't be a 2 because of this 2 over here. 2, 3, and 5 left in the column, and this 5 means this can't be a 5, so this must be a 5. And this is a 1, 3, or 4, and this is a 1, 2, 3, or 4. Okay, is there any other logic we can use before taking a look at this over here? These are different. These are the same. These are different. Okay, so let's look at this. So this 2, 3, and this 2, 3. Let's look at these 2, 3s. So this 2, 3, and this 2, 3 are different. Because they're in the same box. These two must be different because they're in the same cage. So it turns out these two are the same. Now these 2, 2, 3s are in the same column, so they must be different again. And now we have 2 and 3 looking at this corner cell. This corner cell cannot be a 2 or a 3 because if we put a 2 here, then this is going to be a 3. And that rules out both. If we put a 3 here, this is going to become a 2. And it rules out both still. So this can't be a 2 or a 3. Which means I have broken the puzzle. Haven't I? The way that I saw the puzzle working before was that this was going to be 1, 2, and then 3, 4. But this can't have a 2 up here now. Which means the 2 is going to go down here in the water and cause problems. Because this must be a 2, which means these must be 3s. This is going to be... Oh, no, it's not. It's still not broken because this could still be water cell. This is a water cell. Okay. I just, did, 15 steps. So let me just talk this through. So we can't have a 2 up here. So if we try to do 1, 3, or 1, 4, the two, how should I say this best? Let me actually restart this. So in this column, the 2 is going to be in a water cell. That means the only air cell can be a 1, which means this must be the only air cell and it must be a 1, which means this is not a 1. Now we need a 2 in this box, so this is a 2, this is a 2, and then we already colored the 2s and 3s, so we know a little bit. This is a 4, this is a 3, this is a 2, 4. Let's get rid of these colors for a second, actually for the rest of the solve. This is a 1, not a 1, 1, 2. Whoops, typed them backwards, okay. I think I did it correctly now, but this one definitely threw me for a loop. So we have a 1 is less than all of these. 1, 2, 5, 3 is less than 6. 2 is less than 3 and 5. 3, 4, 5 is less than 6. 2 is less than 3. 1, 2, and 4 are less than 5 and 6, and 4 is less than 5 and 6. I believe I did that correctly, but it is definitely a tricky puzzle. I definitely thought I broke this puzzle multiple times, but I think I did get it. That was tricky. That was a great puzzle, though. That was fun. Thank you, Analytical Ninja, for that puzzle, and thank you all for watching.